triggered or offended, please exercise caution. Because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children. And not for coworkers either. And yes, that includes you, Cindy. And everybody knows you steal their lunches.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Yes, I'm still putting my sock on. I thought I had time.
Dude.
What a professional I am.
I thought it smelled like corn chips all of a sudden. I'm like, who opened Fritos in here? It's your feet.
It's my fault.
Oh, good morning. It's her fault. Oh, my God. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I hope you're ready to have a great day. And we're going to make a great day happen, regardless of the stories that we have in the can, because those are just going to infuriate.
There's some nasty stories today.
I mean, okay. Anyway, good morning. How are you?
What's up, Dragoon Knight?
Dragoon Knight.
Hello,
welcome to the
everybody.
show.
Yeah, welcome to the show. JJ and I did a little audio work yesterday. If you want to join our Discord server, come by, and if you've got time in the morning and throughout the mornings, JJ and I have been getting on and doing some extra stuff, so you can come and join. And some folks have been joining in there and talking to us and stuff. It's been kind of fun. If you don't know what Discord is, it's just a chat program. I've been wanting to explain that a little bit because maybe some folks our age that watch the show are like, what are these? What are they talking about?
What the hell is a Discord?
The only reason we know is because we're video game geeks and we used it to talk to each other. It's just a chat. It's just a little chat app that you can, and it looks confusing, but it's really not. It's really not confusing at all.
Really
so come join with us and talk to us all the time over there. We appreciate it.
And if you're not interested in joining Discord, which we understand,
we're on Twitter.
We're on Twitter. Yeah. There's a Twitter FUNSLINGERS account for the show. And if you interact with that, I think it sends comments into the stream. So like if you happen to be, so if
and
you
I don't know about Rumble and YouTube, you've got all that set up, but
Rumble is probably the best place to go, because if you're here for Rumble, then we're watching the live comments and we're gonna like talk, incorporate or whatever. And we get, honestly, we don't get very much traction on YouTube. I'm gonna say some of that is because I am not interested in going and putting comments into live video or tags into live videos every day, but some of it is just like we're just getting better traction on Rumble. It's pretty amazing. So if you guys are watching on Rumble.
Rumble will allow us to read the news stories and not give us a week-long cancellation because we don't like the news stories that we happen to report on and read. So that's why we prioritize Rumble over YouTube.
I've already had my account on strike. I got that nice permanent warning flag on my account because
you're welcome, JJ.
You're welcome. YouTube needs a sense of humor. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of sense of humor, while you're on the Discord server, you can log in and give us some of your dad jokes. Because if you're not on the Discord server, you can send us your dad jokes over Twitter or whatnot. Or, send us your dad jokes over YouTube, you slackers, like old Sinister Minister there. You're a slacker. Let's see how you are.
YouTube, you know what?
Love you.
Boomers need to be able to watch video too. That's what YouTube's for.
That's so funny. All right, today, JJ, you're going to love my song of the day today.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And I keep forgetting this sometimes at the beginning of the show, so you have to watch the show so you can catch my song if you're taking notes and keeping track.
He hasn't found a spot to pin this segment exactly yet.
So, song of the day I come across, I've known about this band for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years now, and I came across this song today, and I was like, oh, what is this? I want to listen to this. And it was great. I was jamming this out at the radio station at like 5 a.m. this morning. Have you ever heard of, JJ's not a big music person, but have you ever heard of Mongolian throat singing?
No.
You have it?
That's not a real thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Mongolian people.
Okay.
That's what it sounds like. But it comes from the bowels of them. hey, home, hey, ho, hey. It's really cool. It's really cool. I'm really digging it. So there's a band called The Who, not Roger Daltrey and John Twistle and all them and Keith Moon. It's not WHO. It's a band called the HU. It's pronounced The Who. And
Right.
they are a Mongolian rock band. They're basically a Mongolian throat singing traditional instrument type band that this guy gave them. He saw the potential and gave them electronic instruments of the same things that they were playing and told them to play some metal. And holy shit, they're selling out fucking arenas, dude. They
Right.
are awesome. They are awesome.
Okay.
The Who, the HU. So you got to listen to them if you like some metal music. The song today is called, I can't pronounce it, Shugan Esina by The Who, and it's from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So I was like, what is this? So I listened to it, and I don't remember it in the movie, but it's freaking awesome.
Mm.
This piece of music is awesome.
Okay. Hey, do we have a
So-
clip of that?
No, we're not going
Oh,
to play it. No,
okay.
you have to remember the music. You have to look up on your own, people, so that we can stay on the air and not get fined.
Shugan Isena.
I'm going to leave this up for a little bit so folks can write that down.
Yeah, okay.
Shugan Esina. Just type in The Who, the HU, and Star Wars, and you should be able to find the song.
All right.
But any of the songs from The Who, and there's several folks that talk about music in the server that like metal music. And if you like metal, you will like this. It's not heavy Swedish death metal, but it's pretty cool. It's different. It's Mongolian. It's got a mixture of Mongolian throat singing in there, and it's really cool. So check it out. Check it out. That's my song of the day today.
All right. That's awesome.
You're not going to check it out, are you, JJ?
You know what? It's important to me if it's important to you.
That's sweet, but I'm not your wife. You don't have to lie to me like that. you don't have to bullshit.
It sounds cool, but here's the thing. We have a stack of stories, and I'm like, how the F do I weave these things together? Because
I know.
I was like, I have to find something that's not going to just be like raise Deacon's blood pressure right out the window. We spent an hour yesterday trying
to Paltrow stuff.
Okay, good. I touched on that, and I was like, okay, and like I read everything, and I was like, I mean, I kind of just don't believe this dude. My gut just says like this dude's in it for money, and
yeah, he is.
I guess we're talking about. I guess we're in it. I guess we're in the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. I don't have a story pulled up for that one, but my understanding is that he was hit on the mountainside, or he hit somebody, or whatever, and he got knocked out, and then he woke up, and somebody was standing over him yelling at him, saying, "You hit her." And this accusation comes from Terry Sanderson, who is the person who's claiming to be a victim. But he said that when he came to, somebody was yelling at him, saying that he was responsible. And I'm like, your own testimony is like, you're the dumbass. What is this case? It's ridiculous. All right, explain what's going on.
Well, I mean, it's like you said. It's just this guy realized that Gwyneth Paltrow hit him,
or he thinks she does. He says he got knocked unconscious, and he came to.
He doesn't. No. See, there was a story I was reading this morning that like the prosecuting attorneys couldn't figure out. They kept telling the judge they couldn't figure out how to get into this website to get the video of the GoPro camera, I think is what it was. And they couldn't figure out how to get into the website. They were using a stalling tactic, basically. They were saying how they couldn't figure it out. So they had like an IT guy, and he just basically logged into the website, and it asked for a username or password or a sign-in. Or a sign-in or a login. So he just created a login and logged in. And he logged right the fuck in front of everybody. It was like, I don't know why this is taking y'all 4 days. It literally took me 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Oh, we don't have the login. Make one.
Yeah.
Make an account.
Make one. So yeah, it's just this thing is, I mean, you can see I'm scrolling through all this bullshit here. I'm not going to get into this because we do have a lot of stories, but it's it's like what we said. The guy realized that it was Gwyneth Paltrow. He realizes, that he can make a freaking bank off this. And Gwyneth Paltrow's attorney is actually doing a couple of funny things. They said that he, like this right here, where was it at? He came out of the courtroom and told a couple of, he kicked off the trial with a couple of knee slappers early on. To start, he extravagantly waved a dollar bill around the courtroom in an attempt to show the jury how little Paltrow was asking for, but ended up looking silly that his message didn't land. So anyway, this is not so much as a story as it's from where I read this particular thing right here. I've read several things on Gwyneth Paltrow. This was the story that I popped up.
My initial gut reaction on this whole case is that this dude's just digging for cash.
And
he's got something. And what you have is a trial in front of juries and in front of jurists who basically the jurists decide this person or that person, right?
Is that a real word?
A jurist. Yeah, a jurist is a juror. Yeah, I think so. Isn't it? Juror. A juror is a jurist. So
jurist is an expert writer on law. Oh.
So Gwyneth Paltrow is a movie star. Juror. Gwyneth Paltrow is a movie star. She's a person who has, in some capacity in her life, demonstrated enough charisma and attractiveness to be able to sell movie tickets, and the other guy's an optometrist. So how do you think this is going to go, especially when both of them get on the stand and she gets on the stand and she's likable and fun and amusing and smiling, and then he gets on the stand and he's like, I can't see out of my eye, and then I can't taste wine anymore. I'm not allowed to go to wine tastings. What are you talking about? This case is only going to go one way. This is the dumbest optometrist.
That guy would just take the Gwyneth Paltrow magic rocks and shove them up his ass. It might cure his eye brain damage. Maybe
they can do a settlement. They can just, in this case, do a settlement, and he can get a lifetime supply of vagina jades.
Goop. I don't know if we need to say those two words together. Let's change the story
please. All right. Hey, I got something that's not in the docket, but I want to talk about for a second.
We haven't
I like comic books
story yet.
This is one of the best.
I didn't know that. I like
this is one of the best indie comics out there. It's for real great. It's by a guy named Von Klaus, and actually the artist. I don't want to blow him up, but the artist was a he and is now a she. But the art is amazing. This is called Monster MD. And I got an email from Monster MD yesterday saying, hey, we want to let you know about this. So they are starting to do an animation of this book. This book has been so successful that he has the funds in place that he's making an animated version of Monster MD, like a cartoon. And I watched it, and it's animatic, so it's rough, but it looks really good. So I was like, oh, this is cool. So I tweeted it out yesterday. I was like, hey, if you haven't already picked up Monster MD, go check out his latest campaign. And his current campaign, I'm going to show this for everybody for just a second. His current campaign is Terror in the Trenches. And this is a book about a World War II super soldier, The Terror. The Terror is an old comic property. And I believe The Terror is either has the licensing rights to it or it's in the public domain. So he's making this book, The Terror in the Trenches. And if you back The Terror in the Trenches, you can pick up Monster MD for $30 as an add-on. And his next project after this one that's currently waiting to launch is called Psycho Killers.
Ad? Do we do paid
No,
ads?
It's not a paid ad, but so I tweeted this out. I was like, oh, this is cool that he's doing this cartoon. I like this book. If you want to get the book, this is the way you can get it, is go to Terror in the Trenches and pick it up. And I tweeted that out. And then Vaughn was like, oh, cool. And he retweeted my tweet and then he followed me. So,
cool.
Right. Yeah. So, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Thanks, Vaughn. Love your book. All right. Let me close these two things. All right. So our title story this morning, Deacon, I don't even know if you read it or if you read the title, to be honest. I think I just closed the wrong tab. Our title story this morning, our title this morning is "I Want to Believe, but I Don't Want a Disney Plus Reboot." So
Well, I didn't get it. I saw the title. Did you pop it up on the screen already? Did I miss it?
I didn't have it. I didn't have it.
Oh, okay.
Loaded into the thing. But
I
here you go. This will get you the gist.
well, I saw the cigarette smoking man, and I
Yeah.
saw Skinner, and I was like, okay, this got to be some X-Files, and it's got to be talking about the X-Files reboot that I saw this story yesterday, and
Yeah.
I didn't even click on it because I love the X-Files, and I just got through rewatching all of them. I mean, like 2 weeks ago,
I know.
just got done with like season 11 or whatever it was. And
did you watch the 2018 special?
I watched them all again. I watched them all.
No, they had like a comeback show, like for one season in 2018.
Everything that was on Prime, I watched.
Right. Okay.
And it had the latter stuff that I had never seen, where Scully and Mulder were a lot older, and I think that's the 2018. Were completely gone, and Skinner was still there, and the cigarette smoking man was still there. Of course, he's never going to die, but yeah, I don't know. Should leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Isn't that your gut reaction?
There was a chance there for a while with Doggett and whatever her name was, that they could be the two new X-Files instead of Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
But then, if you'll remember, there was a couple of episodes with a younger man and a younger girl, and her name was Einstein. Remember, her last name was Einstein, and she was like a Scully, and he was a Mulder. And you thought, oh, these young 20-year-old FBI agents are going to be, because it was a joke at first that they were the younger Mulder and Scully, but they were on a couple of episodes. So you thought, oh, maybe they're introducing
maybe they're going to do the next generation. Maybe
I'm done with Mulder and Scully's story, because I got that TV show is so dated anymore that if you go back and you watch that show now, and you're like, well, that makes no sense, and they wouldn't do that, and why did I was asking questions through the whole thing. I'm like, this TV show wouldn't make it nowadays, because it would be scrutinized so much with some of the stuff and the decisions that they made. Like the FBI would do something, and you're like, the cops don't do that. Why did they do that? The cops don't do that. You just did that to tell a story. That's not legal.
I'm betting a bunch of the problems that they had that were plot devices in the show would be solved by a cell phone.
Yes.
Somebody, hey,
yeah.
Is this true? This isn't true. What are you telling me? This isn't true.
You can't get a hold of somebody. Yeah.
Right. So Ryan Coogler is the director of Black Panther and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, two amazing smash hit movies.
I'm guessing that's the guy in the glasses.
Yeah, that's this guy, and this is Chris Carter.
Oh, okay, I don't know what any one of them looks like.
And they're thinking, hey, maybe we just revive that X-Men property. I bet you what happened is that somebody at Disney was like, hey, nobody likes Star Wars. We're getting in trouble with all the time with everything. Do we have any properties that people are still like, and that maybe we can resuscitate? And somebody was like, we bought Fox. Oh, Fox. What do they have? And they had X-Files. Oh, that's been off the air for like 30 years. No, not 30 years. Whatever. Can we do something with that? Put our top guys on this. So
see, I don't think they used the word resuscitate. I think they said, is there a TV show that we can take to fucking ruin? And
is there a TV show we can use as a skin puppet for our agendas? Just shove our hand all the way up inside of it and make it say what we want. So Carter dropped Coogler's name during an interview this week at CBC Radio on the Coast with Gloria Macareno. On the Coast with Gloria. Don't know her. Never. Discussing the 30th anniversary of the X-Files premiering on Fox, Carter said, I just spoke to the young man, Ryan Coogler, who is going to remount the X-Files with a diverse cast.
Diverse cast. What does that word?
Oh wow! I went right over it. Wow, that's keyword.
They were hoping that you would go right over it. That's the point.
Yeah,
they're hoping that you miss the keywords.
Right.
Diverse is a key word in that sentence.
Oh, he did Creed. Right, Ryan Coogler did.
Go
Creed.
figure. Go figure.
Okay. So can we spitball this for a second? We have the FBI, and we're going to have the Department of Diversity, Integrity, and what's the E
No,
stand for?
no.
Yeah, that's where we should put the X Files at.
No, it's the X-Files. So, with all of the alien shit that's going on today,
Yeah.
you can't do the alien government cover up. Aliens going to come back because wasn't it like 2012 was the original freaking, and the plot in the original X-Files was that the aliens were coming back in 2012.
Oh, right.
I think.
Right.
It was the
Yeah.
December 12th.
Oh, they had that movie. Did you watch the X Files movie? There was
I hadn't seen it.
there was like a spaceship in Antarctica or something like that. I don't know.
That's in the TV show too.
Oh, it could be the XXY files, right? And then we could have follow cases of where persons.
I'm about sick of this where trans bullshit. I read some shit yesterday that pissed me off too about the trans stuff.
I bet you did.
And then I had a news story come through this morning from my local stuff that my guy sent me. And it said I ended up not reading it because I try to do local news, and this is really not local, but you'll see what I did.
What does that say? Oh, you scratched out a woman.
It said person, person who killed 3 children and 3 adults at the Christian school, blah, blah, blah. So I emailed my other dude that reads the news and whatnot. And I said, that word is woman, not person. Okay. I don't care. I don't care, dead or alive. Yeah. I am not going to give any kind of courtesy to a killer. I don't care if they're trans, woman, man, or a fucking giraffe. I'm not going to give you any courtesy and call you what you preferred to be called, or do even use a generic word as to maybe not offend you. Fuck you. That was a woman, and she was a piece of shit.
I need
hope she's burning in hell.
I need to take a note here, Deacon, because I don't want to be out of sync here. How many children is it that you kill before we just disregard their gender pronoun preferences?
It depends on. No, you can. There's not. Number doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't.
If you change your pronouns, we have to respect you.
Right.
Period. Because you're struggling, and you want rights. But here's the question, man. I was talking about this yesterday with someone. Here's the question that they proposed. What rights do they want? Because they have every fucking right that I have, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. I'm sorry, I read the comment.
So what are they wanting? Are they wanting special rights?
Oh,
what
no.
they're wanting is special rights.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
You have every fucking right that I have. The only thing we're trying to get you to stop doing is telling our fucking children that are going through the hardest part in their life with their hormones. We're trying to tell them to not make a life-changing mistake, because we all make choices at that age that we wish we could go back and not make anymore. Okay, that's a part of life, and that's every freaking human being. And you don't think that these hormones of these people that are going through this transitional phase might make you kind of go crazy in a little bit and maybe shoot up a fucking Christian school?
So look, we're gonna have to dive into this. And guys, I'm gonna get to your comments in a minute, especially yours, Manny. That was very funny. Good morning, Richter. All right, so I mean, we just have to deal with these stories. Okay, so here I'm gonna just start here. Oh man, I don't know what I just.
I'll try to rein in my tongue.
I mean, I can understand how you get upset. All right, Marjorie Taylor Greene ripped for suggesting that hormones are to blame for the Nashville school shooting. Oh,
why wouldn't they, JJ?
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't they be blamed?
Consider the facts. I think there's a picture. This is the person right down here. The female, right down here. She was a 28-year-old female who had mental illness and gender dysphoria, which is just mental illness, believed that she was a male. She was probably taking testosterone, which is an aggressive hormone, which generates aggression. So she's a 28-year-old female with whatever hormones affect a 28-year-old female. And let me be just real clear about this. It's the same hormones that make every other 28-year-old female want to have babies.
And it's the
make them
same
nuts.
hormones that can completely screw up females as well, because
Right.
I know several females. There was a doctor that came to our area several decades ago that specialized in hormone treatment for females. It was a weird thing because we were like, what is this? And so I personally knew some women who were having lots of problems that went to him, and he straightened them out. I don't know how he done it, but he got their hormones straightened out. It took a little while, and it completely fixed these women.
Right.
And you don't think that humans, men and women, don't have hormones that go through our body at 45?
Absolutely.
I have a problem controlling mine when I hear fucking stories about this.
So you have an assailant here, this perpetrator, right? 28-year-old woman, almost mentally ill, almost certainly has whacked out hormones. And then you stack on top of that a drug treatment of like testosterone therapy or something like that, which increases aggression.
On an antidepressant. And antidepressants,
In fact,
damn one of them will cause you to become suicidal, because I know that for a fact. Don't question me on that shit.
This person was under medical care for mental illness. She was under treatment from a doctor for mental illness. So probably a psychiatric, probably a drug of some kind. So she probably was on her meds or went off her meds or was stacking that with so I mean, like is this exactly what happened? Nobody knows, but this is a very reasonable. So MTG suggesting this very reasonable explanation for why this person would have just been so out of their mind, angry that I'm just gonna. The right plan for me is to go to a Christian school and kill a bunch of Christians, 3 60-year-old people and 3 kids. So Marjorie Taylor Greene got ripped by this for suggesting this yesterday. I think she said, how many hormones like testosterone and medications for mental illness was the transgender Nashville school shooter taking? Everyone can stop blaming guns right now. So like guns didn't go up in that school and do this. It was a person, a human that made choices to kill other people. That's what did this. And the thing that's kind of like concerning to me anyway is that not only is there's this chemical dependency, chemical interaction of this story. How much would you bet that this person was also on social media and in like social groups that were like affirming her belief, right? And every time that her parents or her family would be like, Audrey, you're a girl, you're a female, like you just got to get through this, and like gotta cope with
what
it.
were those people in the group saying?
Yeah, she would run away from them and she'd go back to her group. She'd self-isolate to a community that affirmed her fantasy in her mind. And you know what that is? That's cultism, right? Whenever you get away from any information that conflicts with what you want to believe, and you only pull information in from things that support your, what you want to believe. I mean, that's what it is. It's programming. It is programming. So she was programmed and radicalized. Oh, but there's nobody out there that wants to radicalize transgender people, right? Well, check this out. Look at this. Look at these people. This is a story on National File. Trans violence and threats are on the rise. So there is this whole thing with this little logo of the trans rights or else.
What rights? You have yet to tell me what you want.
They want you to accept them for who they are, and they want you to kowtow, and you better acknowledge that they exist, and it's not a byproduct of
color
mental
your
illness.
Hair purple, and you want to say that you're a fucking dump truck. That's fucking fine. Get the fuck out of my way. Get the fuck out of my town where I fucking live, and y'all go live somewhere else then, okay? Quit fucking trying to tell our fucking kids that this type of goddamn thinking is okay, because it's not. You have something wrong with chemicals in your brain.
Yeah.
Okay. And all these people that are saying that I'm the fucking bigot, I'm trying to fucking help you. You have something wrong with you, and no one wants to hear those words that you have something wrong with you. If JJ told me after the show, Deke, man, I need to tell you, you have an emotional problem. You have something wrong with. I would probably tell him yes. I'd agree with him because I'm the type of person who wants to hear disparaging things
Right.
about themselves. But
and it's not even disparaging. If somebody has mental illness, it's not like, hey, stop that. It's like, hey, you need to see a doctor, and you definitely need to find a support group.
And if you're talking to 15 other people that tell you that that is okay to do, that's not they've got the problem too.
Right.
That's not normal.
Right. It's definitely not. It's not in your best interest long term for you to be chasing this dragon. Like, you think that you're finally going to like change your gender and cut sections of your skin off and make a fake dick, and you think that you're finally going to be happy? Go talk to the people that have done it for real, that are on the other side of it. Because a lot of, well, the ones that haven't killed themselves, right? Because the suicide rate and suicide attempt rate is way high. But the ones that go through it, they're still empty inside. They're still hollow. They still have the same problems. So, anyway, so this is a thing right here. Trans rights or else. Now, understand that this is not a, the message here is not trans people should have the right to bear arms. Hey, guess what? It's America. Second Amendment. They already have the right to bear arms. That's not the message. The message here is a threat. The message here is accept us 100%, or there will be violence. Or there will be violence. This is not a trans rights to bear arms. This is trans rights and give us whatever we want, or we're going to take up arms and we're going to start killing people. That's what this message is. And this is not the only, so here is a person showing off. I just don't know if it's a male or female or whatever, but they're out there and they're, I mean, you get on social media and you're showing off your guns like this. I mean, the context is do what we want or we're coming for you and your kids. And there's a whole bunch of photos out there of people with this shirt or this logo of the trans rights or else.
What is the trans right? What is the logo? Because if I see a fucking person walking with this goddamn shirt, I'm going to jail because I'm just going to punch their fucking ass.
It's literally, this guy has a painting of one, but there's some, I'm looking for photos of the other ones that I've seen. And I bet you can find it on Twitter.
I just want to know what the fuck right they want. They want the right to have a fucking 14-year-old child make a goddamn life-changing decision. No, fuck you. Fuck you. That's not a fucking right. Okay, I don't care what kind of fucking word or what you label. That is not a fucking right. Okay, you don't have that fucking right. And if you want that right, go to another goddamn country or somewhere where you can get that fucking right. You're not going to fucking get it here. That's not a right. You want to live free and do whatever and go to fucking Walmart and be happy and get married and do all that shit. That's fucking fine. I don't care.
Right.
Quit trying to fucking do a goddamn drag show.
It's just more
fucking kids.
It's
if
just
you
more.
want to do your drag show and dress up like fucking clowns, that's fine, man. I have been to a drag show before. It was entertaining, okay? But it wasn't it was at a fucking bar where no kids were allowed.
Right. So you see this shirt. This shirt's on Amazon, and you'll go on Twitter and you'll see trans people wearing this shirt, clad kind of like Antifa, and the whole thing is like this message is a threat. Okay, it's not trans rights to bear arms. This is, you better accept us or else there's going to be violence. That's
whatever
what it is.
You want, dude. If the dude wants to grow his hair out and wear fucking makeup and jewelry and prance around like a little woman, that's fine, man. If you feel better about yourself putting on the bikini, good for you, man. I want you to feel good about yourself. I'm not judging you on that. Okay? I did. I used to, and I still have a problem sometimes getting rid of that thinking, JJ. I'll just be straight up honest with you. I still have a problem getting rid of that thinking sometimes, and I'm really trying to not be a bigot, you know. So
you mean let me slow you down just a second. So do you mean like you see somebody doing something differently than you, and you think to yourself like, "Ew, that's gross," or "I don't like that," or whatever?
yes,
Okay, because
yes.
because I'm currently in the part in my life where I'm like, I see somebody and I'm like, "Don't care. That's a crazy person. Stay away from my kids." That's
Okay, so you've got younger kids than I do,
yeah,
and my kids are in high school.
right.
All my kids are in high school.
Yours are more susceptible right now.
Right. So I'm having to, and I had to realize real quick that my kids are not stupid. My kids are not kids, and I'm not all knowing emperor dad.
Right.
Okay. They have humbled me a couple of times when we've been talking about something and I have said this and they have said that, and we've looked it up and they have been right. And I was completely wrong. And after a couple of times, yeah, that does say trans rights or else
Trans rights or else,
with a
yes.
bunch of fucking guns.
Right. And again, it's not like, oh, the trans rights to bear arms, because they already have the right to bear arms.
You have the
So
right to
it's
bear
something
arms.
so it's
What is the
something
right?
else.
What rights do you want besides being able the only thing that I can come up with is that they want a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds to be able to
Right.
make life-changing decisions at that age. Did you, Richter, were you make a life-changing decision at 15 years old?
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, he says he'll take the or else. Well, let me say this. If I'm glad Deke's on the radio, because this would probably boil his blood too. From Breitbart.com, trans group on Nashville shooting. Quote, anti-trans hate has, quote, consequences. This group's take on the Nashville shooting is that, well, anti-trans hate has consequences. And I guess those consequences are dead kids. What in the fuck, dude? All right, Deacon. I don't know if you read this one.
Yeah, and this one was the one that made me that fired me up yesterday
I
when I
bet.
just read the when I read the headline. It fired me up to the point that, you know, it's where it's headlines like this and it's stories like this that make people dangerous.
Yeah.
It's they can trigger
This
people because that headline triggered me. Thank God. And y'all have seen me when I lose my cool on here. That's about as far losing my cool as I ever go. Okay.
right.
That's
It's loud
y'all seen the
vocals.
extent. Yeah. I don't punch. I don't do
Yeah.
any of that mess. I'm not a physical person.
You
That's about as
might
far as I
confront
go.
somebody at Comic-Con and tell him he's an asshole for
For
bagging on a
disrespecting my
kid.
son.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not a physical person. Some people
Right.
are. I'm not. So it's but the people that are physical and the people that can't control their temper and their anger, JJ, something like a headline like this can be dangerous.
Yeah.
Can be
I
very
mean,
dangerous.
this is totally irresponsible. Twitter profile, Trans Resistance Network. This is completely irresponsible because this person is signaling to people in the trans resistance, mindset. This person is signaling to the people wearing those black shirts with guns on it that, like, well, they're if I didn't leave that door open. So this person is sitting to people with those black t-shirts with guns on them that, maybe an acceptable consequence is killing kids. That's what he said. That's what the sum of this message is. And
They
this
don't care about
absolutely
those
is
kids, JJ, because they were Christian kids.
right. You're right. You know what they are? It's total fucking narcissists with mental illness. That's what they are. And
It's made me
I want those people to be better. I want them to be okay. I want them to get through this until they start shooting kids. And then I'm just like, well, I guess we have fucking lines here.
I
Because
guess we've drawn the fucking line now. I was trying to be tolerant of the trans people. I was really trying. But you better put a rein on your fucking mouthpieces. because you trans people that just want to live your life, you better put a fucking rein on your fucking mouthpieces is all we're saying, because you're pissing people off and we don't give a shit. I'm going to discriminate. It's going to get to the point to where I, speaking as the public,
Right.
the public is going to discriminate against trans people, period. Period.
Right.
You are taking huge strides backwards when something like this happens. And your people go on Twitter and say shit like this. You're taking enormous strides backwards, because the general public now has a very any type of step forward that the trans public made to get a positive image
Right.
in the past 2 years, and they have struggled to take one footstep, JJ.
Right.
We just took about 15 fucking long jumps backwards with this.
And it's not because
Not we, but they, you know what I'm saying.
Part of, I mean, like, if somebody raises the criticism of like, oh, well, you wouldn't be acting like this if it was just a straight white man that went on a killing spree. Yeah,
Bullshit.
I would. Yeah, I would.
Bullshit.
Yes, I don't. But this particular killing spree is directly linked to mental illness, not a gun that floated into a school and killed somebody. Okay, so anybody that's out there thinking they can kill people, no, that's not right. All right, I mean, I'm trying to get us off of this railroad tracks, but we got like two more. Okay. So here's a study from Breitbart from 2022. Transgender youth at the highest risk for violent radicalization. This is a study, a 2022 study found that people who identify as transgender are at the highest risk. The study, titled Meaning in Life, Future Orientation, and Support for Violent Radicalization Among Canadian College Students During COVID-19 Pandemic, explored the extent to which different demographics were open to violent radicalization. In the abstract, the COVID-19 pandemic has increased the levels of uncertainty and social polarization in our societies, compromising young people's capacity to envision a positive future and maintain a meaningful sense in the purpose of life.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There's a whole generation there that they were indoctrinated for a couple of years online. That's all they did. And once you do that for a couple of years, you know, do you think that they've gotten off of it completely? No.
So here from this section of it, it says transgender and gender diverse youth emerge as the group at the highest risk. So I mean, I'm sure they controlled for a bunch of variables, and they identified they allowed people to, say what they're into with the whatever. And then they probably asked questions like, how much would you reject this and how much would you accept it? And then this kind of staggering result came out, which is not staggering at all. If you have any common sense, yes, these people, because these people more than any other group, they start to kind of pursue this and they start watching these videos on TikTok and YouTube or whatever. And as the people around them are like, whoa, that's not, you're not a, different gender or whatever. They retreat from the people telling them that they're not correct. And they advance into this little bubble of people that are telling them, like, you can be a fox human. You can be.
If I see that shirt, I'm probably going to make a scene wherever I'm at. Right. I probably am. I think I'm probably going to start screaming out, terrorist, it's a terrorist. Read their shirt, it's a terrorist, and just start making the biggest fucking scene I can. Right. I don't care who it embarrasses. I have too many people in my family that get embarrassed too easily. Okay? I'm the guy that will send shit back at the restaurant, depending.
Right.
No,
really? Are you
I'm going to be very polite about it because I used to work in the restaurant industry. Okay. So I understand some things and I understand what they do behind the fucking scenes that you don't think that they do. Oh, there's standards. They don't do shit like that. No, they do. They do. I've worked in a restaurant.
Okay. So this is the exit ramp. Here we go.
Yes. Let's get off this.
On Twitter, Tim Pool posted this yesterday. These are the two officers that stopped the threat. This is not Uvalde. There were not 400 officers loitering in the parking lot.
This is
These
what
guys-
I heard. I heard that the police officers went in, they took control of the situation. They didn't fuck around. They went in, took control, took the fucking woman down, and it was over with.
So I am.
I don't like law enforcement most of the time,
Right.
but hooray to these fucking guys. I wish every fucking one of them had the bravery that these two obviously. I don't know anything else about these guys. They may be fucking bastards, but
I don't know.
That bravery was commendable.
So these two officers, a 4-year veteran and a 9-year veteran. I don't know which is which, but I'm telling you, I have the video. I'm getting feedback here. I have the body cam footage. I've seen it. It's like 2 minutes long. It's fast. Okay, it is fast, and it's those two and a couple of other guys that went in there. They go up the stairs. They are entering a building, and they don't know what's going around. So they're going up the stairs, and they're clearing corners, and they're going as fast as they can to get to the window where the shooter is at. Up the stairs, down the hall, moving right, and around the corner, cleared it, and bang, 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 dropped the shooter. Okay. And I mean, the clip's out there. We can't play it on YouTube, obviously. And, I don't really want to like glorify that. Nobody needs to see that stuff, but these guys, they moved fast. They moved in, they took down the shooter, and they put themselves at risk because that shooter could have been facing the other way, waiting for someone to come around the corner. Right. And one of them could have taken a bullet trying to stomp this thing. So they got these, it's cops like this that still give you a little bit of hope of like, there are people out there that want to serve. There are people out there that want to protect. And, a lot of times that can be kind of critical, especially when but
I'm critical of law enforcement. I'm very, very critical of law enforcement. I wanted to be in law enforcement when I was a kid. I was in the Explorers program for a long time until we had an accident. And I'm very critical of the law enforcement. Too many law enforcement officers today think they are the law, and they don't enforce the law. They're not the law. They enforce the law. And they think they're above the law, and they are the law, and it pisses me off. So it's nice to see good stories like this, because I think you're right. There are police officers, there are law enforcement officials out there in every aspect that still do just want to serve, and they are good people, and they just want to serve. The problem is the shit stains of the group get all the attention. The attention. If in radio, when you make a mistake, I swear to God, radio is just like the movie Office Space. I always loved the part in Office Space where he said, if I make a mistake, I've got 15 bosses I got 8 bosses that come and tell me I've made a mistake. That is radio. If you make a mistake, 15 fucking people are going to point it out to you. But if you do something good, nobody's going to say a word.
So, Jeremy's saying that she had the shooter had training. I'm not surprised if the shooter had training. Okay, there are people out there that are radical that are trained, have training, and they're sharing it. It's not like, they're
we've got the internet, dude.
Yeah,
if I want to know how to fix a fucking washing machine, all I got to do is get some fucking videos and stuff.
But it's not even it's not even like that simple. I mean, it is. I mean, in some cases it is, but no. There are active groups that are out there that are training and radicalizing. Meet up. I saw one yesterday. It was like, if you want some CQC training, if you want firearms training, I've got the guns. You just bring some bullets, and we'll have a meetup.
People that don't think that that's happening haven't went to gun and ammo stores stuff and looked at the fucking bulletin boards.
It's not just like, it's the rednecks that are out there doing militia training, being crazy. No. There's people on the ideological left that are out there radicalizing, recruiting and training people.
But on the other side, there's dads and stuff in this area that are running through that stuff too.
Yeah.
It's people that that
All right.
you wouldn't think.
All right. What a fun morning this is. Okay, can we
Jeez.
finally move on and get off
Yes.
of this?
All right.
Oh, here. This is some good news, Deke. I got some local news. Check this out.
Okay. All right.
Do you know who Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee is?
It sounds familiar, and maybe if I see her face.
You might have seen it. For you, it'd be national news, but for me, she's a local politician.
Is she
And
local?
yeah. Let's see. Oh, there's no picture of her. Let me reload.
Let me Google her real quick and see.
Oh, there she is. There's Sheila.
Okay,
There's Sheila. Whoa. Okay. Don't need that. Where is she at? Where's her face at? She here. There she is in the middle of the screen.
That's who I thought that was.
Yeah,
Yes.
widely considered to be,
Yes.
not the intellectual top, we'll say. Not the intellectual top.
Okay. All right. I don't know that much about her.
Sheila Jackson Lee,
nice looking lady.
is a congressperson for a district in Houston. We have, several congresspeople in Houston because it's a big city.
Right.
U.S. Rep. Sheila Jackson Lee is joining the Houston mayoral race, scrambling an already crowded field. She wants to come home to be your mayor in the city of Houston, to be my mayor. Well, not my mayor. I live just north of Houston. I would not want to live inside the city of Houston. So it might be that the city of Houston retracts Congressman Sheila Jackson Lee from the national stage, and we may have to put somebody else up there and fill her shoes. Oh, it'd be such a shame.
My congressperson, my local congressperson is going to get bumped off, I'm afraid, before too long. It's James Comer.
Oh yeah, man, that dude is like making waves.
He likes to make his own path, huh?
Yeah, he's like, look, we're not getting any legislation done, so I'm just gonna I don't know. I'm just gonna see if I could torch the Biden administration with their facts.
Yeah, he's like he's from like just a county over. So
yes, good stuff.
All right.
Hey, speaking of Biden and torches.
Okay.
Deke, did you know that the president of the United States, the president of these United States of America, has declared that Americans are not allowed to own flamethrowers? Did you know that you were not allowed to own it? Oh,
that's
bullshit.
That's bullshit. Where's our fucking people, lobbying the fucking Congress for shit like this? We have people lobbying the Congress for all kinds of stuff. Where's the flamethrower lobbyists trying to keep this shit legal?
Maybe we need to start an organization. Let's start we'll start a subsidiary inside our FUNSLINGERS server. It'll be a national flamethrower owners association of America.
NFTO. We can make a cool acronym out of it. We'll work on it.
We'll workshop this thing.
We'll workshop it.
So Joe Biden says Americans are not allowed to own a flamethrower.
Well, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, I know. It just makes you mad.
Every time you say that, it just makes me mad.
I mean, you can really just say Joe Biden says, and then just have an underline, and you could just fill in stuff. It's probably gonna make you mad.
Well, I think it's the American. You're an American when you say you can't, and you're like bullshit. Yeah. I can't.
Says you. Not only can I have one, I'll make one if I need to.
I'm gonna fucking make one out of fucking cornflakes. Watch this shit.
Yeah. During a gun control push in the wake of the National Christian School attack, would you believe that the president of the United States would leverage a psychopath murdering children to push for gun control? Would you believe that? President Biden claimed that Americans aren't allowed to own a flamethrower. He said, while restating his belief that the Second Amendment is not absolute. Well, if the Second Amendment is not absolute, then I guess the First Amendment is not absolute. So you better shut your mouth. And maybe the 14th Amendment is not absolute. How many of these rights are not absolute? I just want to know. I want a list.
Yeah, no shit. Can you just give us a list? Because I can't keep up with which ones we're supposed to follow and which ones are bullshit.
Is it the right to not be a slave? Is that not absolute? Is it the right for women to vote? That one's not absolute, right? Which one of these is not absolute? Everybody thinks that somehow the Second Amendment is absolute, but you're not allowed to go out and and own an automatic weapon. You're not allowed to own a machine gun. You're not allowed to own a flamethrower. You're not allowed to own so many things. People of America, you hired a senile, demented, crazy person to be your president who believes that he's amazing and you're a piece of shit and he has all the rights and you should have none. That's what he believes. All right. Shall not be infringed. Second Amendment. I got my pocket Connie here. I can cite it if you need.
What are you talking about now?
Oh,
Are we
I'm just,
showing our power bills.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check. I'm gonna check and see if the president, if it says in here, not absolute. Just gonna check real quick. I'm sure it probably does, right? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state and the right of free people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed.
What does that word mean, JJ?
I think it has something to do with the TV show.
Big word. Infringed.
Yeah, it's
I'm watching that show with the Walter Bishop.
Yeah,
I'm watching Infringed right now.
Also, you're not going to believe this one. Yeah, you will. This is not shocking at all. The president also said that AR-15 bullets blow up inside of the body. So if you shoot an AR-15, you shoot somebody with an AR-15, those bullets, they blow up once they get inside the human body.
Crazy. It's like a little explosive.
Fact check. False. The AR-15 is not designed to disintegrate in the body. Also, AR does not stand for assault rifle. If you think an AR means assault rifle, you should not talk about guns. Okay. Let's see. Nope. Don't want to read another mentally ill thing. We got some time. We got a couple minutes left. We're going to have to go. Deacon.
What? I
need to know how excited you are about the prospect of eating mammoth balls. Here from the Daily Telegraph, meatballs from extinct mammoth unveiled by the food tech firm. It's meatballs made with...
Is it mammoth meat or mammoth testicles?
I guess it'd be mammoth meat.
Maybe I said it wrong. Meat.
Maybe I said it wrong.
You did. You said mammoth balls, and I'm
right. Yeah,
somebody's cooking up some fucking Rocky Mountain.
Listen,
oysters.
if you are selling meatballs made from mammoth meat as mammoth balls, you are missing a giant marketing opportunity.
I would argue with you on that one, but
think so?
I don't. Yeah, it's
gonna get all the attention. Mammoth balls.
You might get the attention, but you're not going to get the attention that you want. You want people to be hungry and you want it to be appetizing. You don't want it to. It's going to get attention, but it's not going to be appetizing attention. I would eat a mammoth steak.
There's no such thing as bad press, right?
Yeah, there actually is. That's a bullshit line. That's a bullshit line.
Hasn't this guy proved it? This guy's proved there's no such thing as bad press.
Me and my daughter were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, actually. Would you eat? I have seen this video several times. It's basically a 3D, it's a giant 3D printer that they have loaded with proteins, different types of proteins and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And the 3D printer prints meat, beef steaks. It mixes the proteins and creates beef steak, and it's marbleized with the fat and everything. It looks like a freaking steak, and the dude cooks it. And I've seen the video. They cook it. It looks like a steak. They eat it. They say it tastes like a steak. And it's made with proteins and stuff, and it's not killing an animal and whatnot. And we were having this discussion because she tried to go vegan at one point, and she eats very little chicken and stuff now. And we were talking about that because I'm a big animal lover too. And I said I would try that. And so I don't know. I'll usually try anything once. There's a couple of foods I refuse to eat, but I usually will try anything once.
I don't know.
I would try mammoth steak. I think it would taste. Have you ever tried bison? Do you like beef?
No. I don't actually eat red meat at all.
Oh, you don't eat red meat?
No,
okay,
no.
So no, you don't. So yeah.
But hey, you get a pteranodon or some other kind of prehistoric chicken, maybe I'd be into it. I don't know.
A giant pterodactyl leg.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'd eat a pterodactyl scrambled omelet. Come on, let's do that. All right, here's the last one, and then we can. Then you can go talk to Cindy. I think you need to tell Cindy, like, come on, Cindy. Here, check this out. 5 planets are to align in the sky on March 28th. That was yesterday, but it'll be visible for a few days. Isn't it amazing? All the planets in a row. Isn't that okay?
Is that the story? Is that it?
Yeah. The 5 planets are in alignment.
So we're not. It's not the end of the world, and the Mayans didn't predict this or anything.
I mean, maybe it's the end of the world. I don't know. Could be.
No, I really find that. I find that stuff interesting. I didn't see this. I haven't been keeping up with any astronomy news lately.
Well, if you're into it and you got a telescope, or maybe you got a clear sky, you might be able to pick out like 5 planets in a row.
If they're in a line, you should always be able to see one of the planets in the horizon. Usually, if you know what you're looking at, the planets. Right. If you're looking in this, God Almighty, hang on a second.
Yeah. No, we don't sell biscuits here. This is a radio station. Let me get my joke ready. Okay, everybody. Hey, here's a great time to remind the audience, if you haven't already, like and subscribe.
Are you? I'm going to forget what I was saying.
Stop. I stopped.
Okay, so I'm going to forget what I was freaking saying. If you want to try to find the planets in the sky at night and you don't know what you're looking for, first of all, there is a really freaking good app called Sky Eye that you can get, that you can just kind of hold up your phone and it'll tell you it's you got to be still. You can't just all around because it's going to go crazy. But if you see a star, you can kind of hold it up, and if your phone's right, it'll tell you what it is, and you can look. You can do this and see the stars on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, right.
It's really cool. So, but anyway, if you're looking in the sky, watch for the twinkle. All right. Planets' lights won't twinkle as bad normally. So if it's not twinkling, that's the planet reflecting the sun's light.
Right.
It's not a star generating its own light.
There's a few that you can. You can use the thing like that app. The one I used is the Sky Map from Google. You can use that to pick them out of the sky and kind of learn what they look like. But after a while, I was able to be like, oh, that's Mars, that's Jupiter.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, but it's been quite a while. One of the coolest things I have ever seen in my life was Saturn through a 10-inch telescope. I had an astronomy class in college. We went out into like Timbuktu in the dark, and at night, and we did an observation laboratory, and they had telescopes out in the field that had a 10-inch lens. Now, the larger the lens, the more the light, the better you can see, the better you can magnify it.
Right.
And I remember looking through that lens and seeing the planet Saturn, and I was just like, that is incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. So there's amazing, mysterious, wonderful things right outside your door.
If you're going to be an amateur astronomer, though, you need to be careful and kind of look up what you need to do, because the moon's light, if you're like, I'm going to go out here and look at this on a full moon and whatnot, it can burn up your telescope, because that's the sun's light reflecting off the moon. It's still the sun's light. And if it hits just right, it can fuck up your telescope. I had a buddy that had a sun telescope where it had the sun lenses and stuff, and we used to be able to watch the sun, but only for a little short amount of time.
Right. Yeah. Don't aim a telescope at the sun. That's not.
It was a special thing. Right. Yeah. Don't aim your telescope at the sun. All right. So this is the point of the show where we get dad jokes ready, and you need to get a dad joke. And if you've got a favorite one, send it to us on our Discord server or Twitter or whatnot. JJ, I have a memory of an elephant.
Do you?
You know that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you really?
I went to the zoo once and saw an elephant.
That's pretty great. And you remember it.
Mm-hmm.
You probably never forget that.
Never forget. Like an elephant.
We didn't get this story in today, but there's some wildlife stories, and there was an octopus, and it got into a fight with a shark.
No, I didn't see that story. Yeah.
And the octopus won.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it was well armed. All right.
Like AKs? Were the bullets explosive?
Just arms. Just had more arms. All right. Thanks, everybody. Cindy, please. Please, Cindy,
Come
don't
on,
watch the
Cindy.
show.
Don't
Don't
watch the show, Cindy.
Bye, everybody.